Hey, it's the Crested Gecko speaking, and you better believe it is. This is what we're gonna do. You're gonna sit down, get nice and comfortable with your iced coffee that we all know you're addicted to, and I, the gecko and no one else, am going to explain to you why Crested Geckos make some of the most incredible pet reptiles. So let's get right into it. But first, how do I look? First, Crested Geckos are fairly small. Crested geckos don't occupy as much space as some reptiles may, and though this isn't to say that providing space is not important, it's also undeniable that crested geckos don't need a multi-square foot enclosure that's listed as 3 beds and 3 baths on Zillow. Crested geckos can comfortably live out their lives in a nice glass enclosure that's sized somewhere around the 30-gallon mark, like this 18 by 18 by 24 inch front opening tank right here. Some reptiles do really need all the space they can get, like this guy right here, or even this guy, or this guy, but crested geckos aren't one of those, making them feasible to keep if you're tight on space, which a lot of us are. Second, crested geckos are very straightforward to care for. This by no means is a care guide, but if given the right parameters and husbandry, which is not hard in the slightest, the only real care that goes into crested geckos is the misting and the feeding, and of course the occasional cleaning, which is a simple task that takes all but a couple minutes a day. Simply spray down your pet's enclosure once or twice a day, depending on their enclosure type and how well it maintains humidity, and replace their meal replacement diet every 1 or 2 days, and you're good to go. Of course, the occasional insect feedings are sprinkled in and are very beneficial, but all in all, crested geckos have super easy care, and this leads me to my next point. 3. Crested geckos are incredibly hardy. They have been established in captivity for quite some time and are pretty well acclimated to captive life, and of course getting parameters right is essential to keeping them, as it is with any animal, but some animals tolerate no mistake before croaking on you. Crested geckos don't, making them a forgiving and wonderful choice for a first pet reptile. Regardless, doing research is essential to providing a happy and healthy life for your gecko, but if you're planning on getting a first pet reptile, crested geckos are a great segue into that field. 4. Crested geckos are everywhere and affordable too. If you decide to get a crested gecko, you wouldn't be hard pressed to do so in the slightest. There are countless breeders out there working with them, and the options are abundant. This ensures that you get whatever color or pattern in your gecko that you please, and having many options comes with many pros, and a lower price tag is one of them. Crested geckos aren't scarce, making them really affordable. 5. Crested geckos are really docile. Being animals, individuality plays a role, so if you get a gecko that's bad crazy, don't come at me, come at my lawyer. But generally speaking, crested geckos are very easy to tame down, and generally they're tolerant of a fair bit of handling. They're also large enough to where they aren't ridiculously fragile, but also small enough to where they won't exactly hurt you. Crested geckos are charismatic, wonderful, and easy animals to keep, making them one of the absolute best beginner pet reptiles, and pets in general. Having worked with them for almost 7 years, I found myself admiring the animals that I've kept time and time again, and their goofy personalities make bad days great. That being said, providing proper care for your new pet, whether it's easy or incredibly difficult to do so, is of utmost importance. But finding information can often be challenging, confusing, conflicting, or simply outdated. I made your life easy and wrote an all-intensive complete crested gecko care and breeding guide with modern and up-to-date information, titled The Evolution of Crested Gecko Care. This book is now out on Amazon as a Kindle or a paperback, and has everything you need to know, from where these geckos came from, to what to feed them and how often, common issues you may experience and how to go about them, and even breeding, egg incubation, and raising young geckos from babies. If you're looking into getting your first pet reptile, your first step is to have a plan, and this book will give you the toolkit to do just that. Thank you for watching, and until next time.